Valve just dropped another SteamOS beta update, and buried inside this update notes is something Steam Frame owners have been waiting for: preliminary support for the Steam Frame wireless adapter. Now, that might sound like a tiny software update, but this little line could be a pretty big deal for Valve's VR plans. Because if Valve is already adding support for the wireless adapter into SteamOS, does that mean the Steam Frame is finally getting close? Let's talk about what actually changed and what the wireless adapter is supposed to do, and why you probably shouldn't get too excited just yet. What just happened? Valve's latest SteamOS beta includes a pretty interesting line: preliminary support for the Steam Frame wireless adapter. This update is part of SteamOS 3.8.25 beta, released in early August 2026. Valve's own Steamwork documentation describes the adapter being plugged into the PC with SteamVR handling the connection to the headset. Once connected, the Steam Frame can essentially behave like a wireless PC VR headset. Why does the adapter matter? Here's the big problem with PC VR. PCs are powerful and VR headsets are portable, and normally there's a cable between them. And cables and VR have a complicated relationship. You put on the headset, you start playing, and 5 minutes later you're fighting a USB cable like you're trying to wrestle a garden hose. The whole point of wireless VR headsets and Valve's wireless adapter is to take that cable out of the equation. Your PC does the heavy lifting and the adapter handles the wireless connection. And the Steam Frame receives the VR experience without being physically tethered to the computer. This isn't just another VR dongle. And there's an important distinction here. The Steam Frame isn't being designed as a traditional standalone headset that just happens to have wireless PC VR. Valve is building the entire experience around Steam. This headset runs SteamOS and uses a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. Valve also uses compatibility technology including Proton and FEX to make it possible to run different kinds of software on the headset. So Valve isn't saying, here's a VR headset, good luck. They're trying to build an entire Steam ecosystem around it. And this is where things get really interesting. Valve isn't just working on the Steam Frame, they're building an entire new hardware ecosystem. We've got the Steam Machine, we've got the Steam Controller, and now we've got the new Steam Frame. And SteamOS is the software layer connecting all of those devices. That's a much bigger story than just a headset getting a wireless adapter. As we found looking through the code, they're all meant to work together. Now, here's where we need to pump the brakes a little bit. Valve didn't say the Steam Frame wireless adapter is finished. They said preliminary support. A beta update means Valve is still testing this stuff. So if you're thinking, great, Steam Frame launches tomorrow, maybe. Shortly after the Steam Machine was mentioned in SteamOS, it was released. But don't hover over your mouse ready to pounce on the Reserve Now button. What it does tell us is Valve is actively integrating the adapter into SteamOS, and that's significant. The software stack isn't something Valve can simply bolt on at the last second. The headset, the wireless adapter, Steam VR, SteamOS, and the PC side of the system all have to work together. So don't misunderstand what this update means. There's another important wrinkle here. Some community analysts suggest that this specific change in this beta may be more limited than headlines make it sound. In particular, there's been discussion that the newly added functionality may involve things like waking a Steam Machine through the wireless adapter, rather than representing the entire wireless VR streaming stack suddenly appearing in SteamOS. So I would not interpret this update as Valve just made wireless Steam Frame VR work for the first time. The wireless streaming system was already being demonstrated, and Valve's documentation already describes how the adapter connects to a Steam Frame to a PC. So why is this update news? Valve is taking all of these pieces and gradually bringing them together. The Steam Frame isn't just hardware, it's an ecosystem. And every time Valve adds another piece of Steam Frame functionality to SteamOS, we're getting a better idea of how the final experience is going to work. And honestly, that's what I'm watching. Not just the headset, the software. So, does this mean the Steam frame is close? I think it's another encouraging sign, but I wouldn't use this update alone as proof of a specific release date. Valve has been steadily adding support for its upcoming hardware to SteamOS, including the Steam Machine. SteamOS 3.8 already added initial support for upcoming Steam Machine hardware earlier this year. What we're seeing is a company gradually putting the pieces together. And when Valve starts adding support for hardware at the operating system level, that's when things start getting interesting. Because if Valve gets this right, the Steam frame could have a pretty unusual position in the VR market. It could be a standalone SteamOS headset. It could stream PC VR. And it could potentially become part of a larger Steam living room ecosystem. And that's a much more interesting proposition than simply saying, here's yet another VR headset. So yes, SteamOS now has preliminary support for the Steam Frame wireless adapter. But no, I wouldn't call this the final piece of the puzzle. It's just another piece. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about a lot more of these pieces very soon. But what do you think? Do you think the Steam frame is getting close to release? And would you actually use the wireless adapter for PC VR? Or would you just rather run games directly on the headset? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're following the Steam frame story, make sure you subscribe because I'm definitely going to be covering this thing when Valve finally gives us more to talk about.